Are you looking for a podcast about subtle bi inklings?
Then you must be thinking of another podcast. Oh! Good evening, Kelsey.
Good evening, Robert.
How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you today?
I'm pretty good. This is a little bit later for the people, but it's not too much later for us. I just wanted to ask, what'd you do for Halloween? How was your, actual October 31st experience? What'd you do?
I don't recall.
Okay.
I think I just hung out at home, honestly. I mean, it was any other Sunday for me.
My dad loves passing out the candy to
Yeah.
kids and stuff, so he was like, you want to come over? Because my mom went to see my brother, so she was out of town, and I was like, yeah, I'll come out there. So I brought Jinx and Bulbasaur, and my dad had, bowls of candy sitting there ready, and they're in kind of a newer development.
Okay.
So I was like, there's not going to be that many kids.
Yeah.
But also, in Texas, basically, COVID shit's out the fucking door. No one gives a shit, right?
Yep. Everybody lick each other's faces again. It's fine.
So Halloween was in full effect, from what I understand in the news, right?
Man.
We had 60+ kids.
Really?
We had so many kids come get candy.
That's great. I do recall we went out for a drive. I don't remember where we went, but it was on actual Halloween, and nobody was out. No trick-or-treaters at all. The city I live in is just dead for Halloween. They don't do it anymore.
It always has been, almost.
It's weird. When we were growing up here, it didn't feel that way.
It wasn't that dead, but it was not... You didn't see, swarms of people, There was always, a couple batches.
There definitely used to be, swaths of children walking around when we were younger.
Maybe, I don't know, we got too cool for it because, the colony thinks it's great now. So
maybe. I bet they probably did something at Grand Skip, a giant trunk or treat or something.
I
despise the concept of trunk or treat.
Okay, good. I hate trunk or treat. I think it's
so shitty.
I think it's fine. It's another excuse for kids to get candy, so go ahead and take them, but still do Halloween and trick or treat,
I know. I get the appeal of the trunk or treat for parents. You go there and it's people that you know and trust, and it's a controlled location, so your kid's not going to get taken or stabbed or whatever. But
yeah,
I feel like I'm going to sound so boomery when I say this, but I just feel like kids should do Halloween the normal way, Dress up in a costume, go door to door. We haven't given out candy for the past few years because we tried a couple of years in a row and nobody came to our house. And we were like, I guess we're just going to not do this anymore because there's nobody out.
Yeah, you got to go somewhere else. Where we grew up doesn't support Halloween, I guess.
It's so weird. It's a normal city.
Yeah, but we had so many. And it was groups of 5 to 6 at a time.
Good.
There was a bunch of fucking people, tons of people, right?
Yeah.
It was cool. Saw some cool costumes. Taylor even came out there, and she was holding Bulbasaur when she'd go to the door, and the people would be like,
God.
"I want to fucking touch him!" They're loving him. So.
Did you dress him up in a costume?
No, he was
good.
He was just ugly Bulbasaur.
I was gonna say if you dress him up in a costume, he's gonna piss inside of his shirt.
Yeah, I know. So, it was the first successful Halloween I feel has happened around me in years.
That's good.
It was different. It just was cool. I liked it.
I want the healing power of Halloween to wash over me. I have not seen children dressed up in costume in years. It's been so long. I remember taking my nieces when they were really young, stroller age.
Yeah.
But that's the last time that I recall a Halloween experience.
TikTok has been a buzz with people that went all out for passing out candy and shit.
Yeah.
And I was like, I didn't realize people enjoyed simply handing out the candy so much. People love that shit.
As an adult now, I think it would just be cool to see some costumes, Yeah. I'm not going out and getting one dressing up or anything. I'm not going to go to a party. But just to see kids in costumes. I think would be fun.
I saw one. This guy put up like a big fake wall, and he stood at the back and did the whole like Monty Python and the Holy Grail insult top of the wall guy.
Nice.
He was like, "Kid, who made your costume? You look so stupid, and your father smells of elderberries." And he would like throw candy at the kids and stuff. And I was like,
cool.
People have like really fun with handing out candy. This is amazing to me. But I wanted to tell you about this one because I thought it was really cool. Watched this one, and people were like, they like left out a bowl on a stool, and we're just like kind of watching through the Ring camera, you know?
Uh-huh.
And some kid comes up and takes like the whole bowl.
Oh my God.
Like scoops up everything that's in it, right? And then the next kid comes up, and it's this little girl, and she comes up, and there's no candy in the bowl.
Oh.
And she dumps out her basket into the bowl.
Oh my God.
To fill it up for other kids.
That's so sweet.
It was fucking cool. And I was like, Halloween's kind of a magical day, I think. Maybe I missed the whole point when I was a kid. It was just about the candy, but there's so much more, you know?
Yeah.
It was just neat, and I thought it was fun to be part of the handing out candy for once.
Yeah.
Because, I got spoiled on it when, that kid called me hamburger face when I was Freddy Krueger that year. So,
Halloween's just never been the same for old Robert.
Never been the same, but I finally felt the spark again 20 years later.
Finally, the magic is back.
Because we were talking about Bulbasaur, I wanted to give you a little update on last time.
Okay.
I had somebody request some poop pics.
No. No. What sick psycho out there was like, oh, dog shit all over a crate in bed? I would love to see that.
I got a text that was just like, show me the shit. And I was like, is there like a new trailer out that I'm not aware of? Like, what cool thing do I need to be showing this person, right?
Okay.
And I was like, the shit? And they were like, the shit I'm talking about. And I was like, oh my God. Is there no new God of War trailer? I don't know. What is out? What am I missing?
I want to see the poop.
And then, they go, the poop storm.
Oh my
and
God.
I was like, oh, I have those. I'm like, here you go, Ferdin. Boom.
Of
2
course
poop
it was
pics.
Ferdin.
Yeah. He wasn't ready. He was like, my God.
Yeah, no.
What happened?
It looked like a dog exploded in there. Like, it's not a good sight.
And then, I'm telling you, the algorithm works. It listens.
Oh my God.
got a TikTok about somebody that had a dog have diarrhea on their bed.
No.
It didn't show anything, but it was
Good.
like, guess who's up at 4 a.m. and having to strip all their sheets because
Jesus.
the dog decided to shit in the bed.
Oh my God.
And I was like, why is having pets bad like this?
Yeah.
That it's that common of an occurrence to have shit storms. I hate it.
Shitstorms are not a good time.
It's not a good time, and it should not be standard.
Nope.
But it is. It's like expected to be worried about shit with an animal. You know?
I know. I fucking stepped in cat shit, like wet cat shit, barefoot yesterday.
Yesterday?
Like, yes.
Oh my God.
I was like, why is this here? Who did this? And then I followed it back to the litter box, and there was like a whole, like, just like a little, like a trail of turds going back to the litter box.
Okay.
It's like, why? Like it was like they got into the litter box, took the shit, and then exited the litter box, and then finished the shit.
One of the cats kind of did that to me the other day, too.
Really?
Because I opened the door. I keep the door closed because they, like, freak out too much when they're in the game room with me.
Uh-huh.
And one of them just took off running. He just, like, ran away. And, like, I stepped out there, and I usually keep, like, the whole light off. So it's like, uh-oh, something's on the floor, though. What is this? And I'm always scared that it's shit. But it's usually always a cat toy.
Yeah.
Turn on the light, and there's, like, one solid nugget just sitting on the tile by the door. And I was like, why? How did this get here?
Yeah.
No one has enough fur for a dingleberry to be stuck there. So did you bring it here?
God.
Like, I don't know how that one got there.
it's probably similar to what Boosh does. Like, she'll start a shit in the box and then think that she's done, and it's still just like hanging out of her ass. Like, she's not finished shitting. Like,
That's
it's
what I'm
half
wondering.
of a turd, and this is explicit, but there's been so many
Yeah.
times where we have to like pull the poop out of her butt, and she's like, "What are you doing? Like, get to
Why?
finish pooping. Finish in the box."
Well, see, this is my one problem with these two cats. When one goes in the litter box to do something, the other one's like, "Oh, it's time to fucking fuck with you. It's time to play."
Yes,
And
yes.
it's like, dude, let them do their business in peace. And I'm wondering if one of them was pooping and they tried to play, so they just like took off running
Probably.
and brought poop with them. You
Yeah,
know?
Wicket does that to Boosh all the time. He'll be like, "What are you doing in the litter box? Do you want to hang out right now?" Like, I've caught him
No.
trying to climb in there with Dee Dee, and I'm like, "You can't do that. It's
Yeah,
not a
dude.
2-man job.
It's like, come on, just go away.
Just go do
Let
something
this person
else.
do their business.
Let them have privacy, for God's sakes."
Bulby. Oh, Bulby's sad that I'm talking about him.
Bulbasaur, you're a
He
shit
wants to
mess.
sit- He wants to sit here.
You're an ugly man, and you have a poop butt.
Oh, good boy, though.
I have a fun new game to tell you about.
Okay.
I genuinely don't want to play this one. So we just came off Streamtober. It was very fun and very frightening. We had a lot of good spooky games that we played through. Have you heard of this game called Fears to Fathom?
No, not at all.
So this is kind of an indie game that has come out quietly on Steam. I believe that it's still in beta. So in July, it has been downloaded more than... So since July, that's when it dropped on Steam. It's been downloaded more than
okay.
140,000 times.
Okay.
And it's getting 88% rating, which is very positive. So that's a pretty successful game because, like, generally, like, if an indie game reaches 20,000 downloads, that's considered success.
Yeah.
So this is like, wow, that's pretty good. And
Okay.
it's all, like, created and developed by a 17-year-old kid.
Okay.
So
What
this
the hell is it
game-
about?
It's really creepy. So
I mean, it is called Fears to Fathom, so I should assume it's kind of creepy, but what kind of
yes.
What kind of creepy is a 17-year-old kid coming up with?
So he's crowdsourcing the creep is what he's doing.
Okay.
He's having like people send in their like paranormal experiences, and he's making like game levels out of them.
Oh, weird.
I know. So it's basically he's working on like Reddit and Discords and just gathering a bunch of different responses from all over the world, like just people from Brazil, from Australia,
Oh my
from the United
God.
Kingdom.
Okay.
They're all sending them to this guy, and some of the stories that are in this sound so creepy. Like, there's one. This is one of my worst fears. I think we've talked about it on the show before, but there's one where like it actually happened to the creator of the game, the 17-year-old kid, like 5 years ago. He kept hearing something like in his own home, and like food would go disappearing.
Yeah.
And they were like, well, it's weird, but like maybe grandma's just like getting up in the middle of the night and eating some snacks. And they installed a security system. And from there, they found out that there's like an old man living in their attic that would come down into the kitchen at night and eat their food.
Cool.
It's fucking terrifying. That is like the scariest thing. That is the scariest thing to me. Just having somebody that lives in your house and you don't know about it. Like,
Yeah,
that
dude.
freaks me out.
I told you about that one with that lady that was living in the vents.
Yes.
Or she was like living in the walls, but she would, because it was like an apartment building, so she was using the vents to go to different places, I think.
Yeah.
But was always coming to this one and like shitting in their sink and weird stuff. Like, it was a weird circumstance.
It is absolutely horrifying. But yeah, that's like the basis for this game. So it's an episodic horror is what he's calling it. It's each one of the stories are totally unrelated, and you kind of play as one person who's experiencing all these different things. And
What a horrible life.
yeah, it's got like a really cool like old VHS aesthetic to it. It's grainy and like dark and creepy. It looks good.
I am a little sold. I think I'd like to try a level or two.
Yeah, like just watching the trailer makes me like real freaked out. So I don't believe I would ever play this one, but I'd probably watch you play it.
It sounds like The Nightmare, but in game form. Like,
yeah, that's
what
it reminds me of.
Yeah, tell me your stories, and then now go play this person's horrific events.
Yes.
That's creepy. I like that. That's kind of
cool.
And
I don't know how the story progresses, or if there is a story, or if it's just about the experience, you know? Maybe it's just about,
it might just
like...
be, all right, here's level 1, play it. Experience.
Yeah. Ugh.
Okay.
Spooky shit.
I'm into that.
I also wanted to ask, so you have... What's your phone?
The Samsung Galaxy S20 Plus.
Okay. Have you upgraded yet to Android 12?
No. That is being saved for the new Samsung for next year.
Okay.
I'll probably get it like a year from then.
Okay, so hopefully by the time it rolls out to you, it'll be fucking fixed, because I've got a Pixel 5.
Yeah.
And I got the notification, like, you can upgrade to Android 12 a couple of days ago, maybe a week ago by now.
Oh. Okay.
And I was like, oh, cool. And I upgraded immediately. And we've talked before about how, like, I don't really notice when my software stuff upgrades. I'm just like, oh, the buttons are a little bit different, and then I go about my life.
Okay.
Android 12 breaks everything.
Oh, no.
It ruined my phone.
Like it just doesn't work.
It didn't brick it completely, but it
but
may as well have.
Okay.
Like, all of my apps, whenever I tend to have a lot of apps open on my phone at once, and that's just the way I live my life.
Okay.
And so whenever I'm switching between apps, there's like a function on the Pixel where you hit like the square button and you can swap between your different apps. But whenever I hit that square button, my phone crashes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which is not great. So I have to like close out of the app with the circle button and then open the app manually via like the app drawer.
So multitasking is at the window.
Yeah, and so whenever you get a notification from an app that has an overlay, like, for example, a text message, you know how you get the little pop-up at the top of your screen? It's like, you have a text from Robert, and it says, recording at 8 o'clock. And I would click it, and the phone crashes.
Okay.
And when I say crash, it doesn't, like, turn off. It just becomes inoperable for about 5 seconds, and then it goes to a black screen, and it flashes my home screen and lock screen at me. And I'm like, that's fun. And then I have to, like, unlock it again. And unlocking my phone has also become a nightmare because, like, 90% of the time, it's like, who are you? Whose fingerprint is this? Who are you?
Oh, my God.
And the worst one for me was Discord. Discord is, like, my main social media. It's where we do all of our business for the podcast. Everything for my life is in Discord. And this app, I'm glad that I'm not epileptic, because I probably would have fucking died by now trying to use this app. Every single time I swipe to the left to look at the sidebar
servers.
of channels, the servers or the channels, whenever I switch between them, whenever I'm trying to do anything at all in Discord, it completely locks up and it freezes the screen, and then everything starts flashing. Like, the side panel pulls out and goes in at light speed, just like fast over and over and over again. The center panel full of text scrolls at random. It all glitches out and starts to show me like 4 different servers at once. And I'm like, what are you fucking doing? It's terrible. It doesn't make any sense. And I'm like, is this just a me problem, or is this a Pixel problem or an Android problem? So, of course, tried turning it off and on again. That didn't do shit. I had to, because Discord is like my main hub for shit, I went ahead and like uninstalled and reinstalled it to see if that would fix it. And so far, that has fixed most of my issues with Discord. I haven't experienced the crazy flashing anymore.
Okay.
I tried doing the same thing with my text messaging app, and that didn't do anything. It still crashes whenever I get a text message and I'm not in my texting app. There's also, like, this wasn't, so after I experienced all that, I went ahead and Googled like Android 12 Pixel, and every single person on the internet is like, this is the worst experience I've ever had with an Android upgrade.
Wow.
And even people that are on Samsungs are having problems with it, because it's apparently really inaccessible for photosensitive users. So like I was saying, I'm glad I didn't have epilepsy, because my God, I would have died trying to use Discord.
Yeah.
But so there's a screenshot of a Tumblr post that has been going around on Twitter. So I'm going to read this to you real quick. So this is a Tumblr user, Bewitching Kitten.
Okay.
And they're saying that they are having a seizure for the first time in over 6 months because of the fucking
Jeez.
unremovable effects with the Android 12 update that the phone involuntarily installed. And there's no way to uninstall the update. Trying to navigate between tabs, dramatic flash to pull up the viewer, which is accurate. Okay. Unlocking your phone, rippling flash upon unlocking. That's accurate.
Oh my god.
Typing, rippling circle bubbles for every single letter I type. I'm literally having to voice type this.
Wow.
Yeah, so this is actually causing people to have seizures. So this was screenshotted and put on Twitter, and this Twitter user, Quatoria, has put out a PSA. For if anybody's being impacted by this, you should be able to disable it by going to Settings, Accessibility, Text and Display, Remove Animations. Because the animations on this thing, like even for me, not a photosensitive person, it's bothersome. Like everything has an animation to it now. There's like a weird...
That's excessive.
That's a good word for it. It's excessive. Like whenever you look at your phone, it's like a Star Wars screen wipe, you know? Every time it...
It's like when you're putting together a school project and it was like, okay, we need an animation for every single click, but never use the same one. So you're just like digging to the bottom of the barrel, like, all right, we're going to do a barrel roll for this one.
We got star wipes, we got fades, we got top to bottom, we got bottom to top. It's all over the place. And
why?
I don't know.
That's
it's
weird.
So much. Like, normally I would not notice that my phone updated, but now I'm just like, whose phone is this? And why is it in my pocket?
I find that really, like, surprising because Google is, one of the biggest companies on the planet?
Yeah.
And you're gonna, like, I always thought of them as, like, a real, like, we're about quality before we put something out kind of company.
Yes. Like,
so
especially especially for the phone that Google made, like fucking fix it. Like
that's your perk of having the Google phone is that you usually get Google updates before everybody else, like Android 12. Like most people shouldn't get that for another 6 months or so.
Yeah, that's why I was so excited about it. I was like, oh, I'm getting it immediately. Cool, let me get that installed. And it's just been miserable. So I'm going to have to go remove the animations on mine just for the sake of my brain.
Well, the next Mansions night that we do, I would like to see this if it isn't fixed by then.
Yeah.
I will want to try it out and play with it myself just to freak myself out.
I'll have to send you a screen recording of like unlocking and relocking and all that because it's basically like wherever you touch on the phone, it's like rippling waves all over the place.
I hate that.
It's bizarre, and I don't know why they did it, and I don't know why they made it the default. Like, if you're going to do this, have it be a thing where, you know, whenever you get a new update, it's like, here's the new stuff, and you have to swipe through all the different pages.
Yeah.
Have that be a thing. Be like, do you want to turn on animations? And it would give you an example, like, this is what your phone's about to do if you turn this shit on.
Yeah. That makes me think of, you know, people that have the weird trailing mouse animation on their computers?
Yes.
Where, like, you move it, but then, like, 50 mice follow behind that.
Yeah.
I hate that. Like, I hate that. So it's just, like, extra flair that serves no purpose. You know?
I didn't ask for this, and I do not want it.
I know that with the trailing mouse, sometimes it's because people can't see where their mouse is, so it helps them locate it faster.
Yeah.
I understand that, but, like, it is not necessary.
No.
These ripples sound very unnecessary.
Yes. Yeah, I'm upset about it, and I would like to revert, but alas, I cannot.
Yeah. Well, I cannot wait to see that.
I'm just hoping they fix the text message thing, because that bugs me. Like, every time I get a text message, every single time, my phone's like, absolutely not. I will not do this.
No texting. I think we need to take an ad break and then come back and crack one open.
We deserve a break.
Yeah, let's do that. What's up?
What's up?
What's up? What's up?
What's up?
You know how many people I see on TikTok that their little, like, profile pic is the scary movie Ghostface with, like, the dumb face with the tongue out?
Oh my god. Like, hi, Ghostface.
Yeah, and it's like all of a sudden, it's really weird.
I think that the Zoomers are discovering it.
Yeah, because I saw a video on YouTube that was like, why Scary Movie gets everything right. And I'm like, is Scary Movie like coming back around?
Oh my god.
'Cause
Did it get
it's
everything
a good
right?
movie.
I feel like I've not watched it in like 10 years.
I love that movie.
But I feel like there's probably some problematic humor because it was one of those like early aughts comedies.
Yeah, but it's still awesome.
And people want to fucking dunk on Hocus Pocus. What the fuck ever.
Yeah, I know. All right, guys, if you enjoyed that little bit of the pre-ramble, you can get that full bonus episode by going over to patreon.com/YMBTOAP and signing up to be a patron. We love our patrons. They support us in everything we do. We appreciate you guys so much. And if you also would like to be the ultimate supporter, it's getting cold out there. Why not head over to the Yimtote Apparel store, grab some YMBTOAP gear. We've got hoodies and stuff that are soft. Like, they're soft. Like, it is time. Now is the right time to get that stuff. That link is in our show notes. And again, thank you all to our supporters. We could not do this without you. And now back to your regularly scheduled content.
Speaking of our supporters, I got a listener mail.
Okay. All right. We haven't had some of these in a while. We've been getting that's like 2 lately.
I know. We're 2 in a row.
All
We're having a
right.
good time, aren't we?
I like that.
So I say listener mail, but it's really a listener DM, I guess. This one came to
Okay.
me via Discord. And it is in reference to our couple of episodes where we talked about accessibility in gaming.
Okay.
So my good friend CJ, he wrote in, he has cerebral palsy, so he has some opinions on accessibility in gaming, and he wanted to share.
Awesome.
CJ starts. I gotta defend my Dark Souls. Such a fan. I beat Dark Souls 3 numerous times as well as Bloodborne once, but I loved it. Dark Souls 2 is a different beast. But anyway, these games were meant to go back to a time where games were less hand-holding and you figure out what to do and what the mechanics are, which is one of the reasons I love these games. The mechanics are so vast, there's no right way to play it. For example, I normally start as a knight, which is a tank build, but I strip down to the point where I can normal roll instead of fat roll, which I don't know what that means, but I'm sure that people who know what the Souls games are know what that means. He says, I hardly block and parry, and that's a weird way to play. Plus, I wanted a challenge and to be able to say, hey, I beat this with a disability. I will agree it's hard, but once you understand the mechanics, it opens the game up. Also, and I like this part, he says, offer is on the table. I will stream this game and run y'all through a few bosses if you want.
Yeah.
I would love to see that.
I've watched so many plays of this game, but it's always like I caught them somewhere else, you know?
Yeah.
I'm like, I kind of want to know from the beginning.
Yeah.
You know?
He said that he's willing to like break down the mechanics of the game for us and like go into full detail on how to beat a boss.
Okay.
He says, my friends say I'm a very scary savant when it comes to Dark Souls. I told him I've never played them. They're too daunting for me.
Yeah.
And he says, they can be daunting, but once it clicks, you've got it. I've gotten 4 bosses and no deaths. Like, what? That's nuts.
Like, that's the thing. And I feel like I'm like that with every game, though. Like, every game you have to, like, figure out how to play that game. Like,
I guess,
it has a way that it's meant to be played. Which is what pushes me off on starting a bunch of new games. I'm trying to think of a game that I just played. Usually, like, the first couple hours of a game, I feel like I'm really bad at them.
Yeah.
And then it's like, a switch goes off, and it's like, I got it.
Yeah.
You know? And I know that Dark Souls would be that way, but it's just so unforgiving.
It really is. Yeah.
So
I can't
I would
with it.
I would much appreciate like a, because usually like if I can't figure out something in a game, I'll watch a YouTube or something and just like show me this part. And if I can see how somebody did it, I can like piece it together in my mind how the game works, and like then I can do it, right?
Yeah.
So I think that would make me understand these games very well if I just had somebody like, this is what this does, and this is how it works, you know?
Yeah. I would be curious to see it as well.
Yeah, I would love that.
All right. So he continues. Oh, and I asked him to, just out of curiosity, do you look for certain accessibility features in a game to make sure you're able to play it? Because I know we were talking in Metroid, like, like what accessibility features are just missing, like what would make a person unable to play a game.
Yeah.
So he says, if it's a game where I'm controlling a character or object, I have to have a controller. Mouse and keyboard is not doable for me because of fine movements. I can't get on target, and it affects fast reaction decision making. But slower paced stuff, like turn-based RPGs or real-time strategy games, I can use mouse and keyboard because there's that leeway. Besides that, not really any other accessibility features that I look for or need. I had an Xbox Elite controller, and that was a game changer for me. Hell yeah.
Yes! Okay.
To be able to map my buttons. I turned off my right bumper and remapped it to a back button because I hit that button accidentally so much, but it wasn't like super required.
Okay.
And then he says, I guess for me, I'd love to see a mouse that is like a joystick, like that accessibility, like that Xbox accessibility controller.
Yeah.
But other than that, I play games pretty normally. But that's probably because I've adapted by growing up through game systems where accessibility wasn't even a thought.
Yeah.
Which, man, just hearing that, like, that sucks, Well,
I mean, he's right. I mean, you got to think about that. We came from a time where it was sink or swim.
Yeah.
You want to play this game or what? Like, this is what you have. And you either said, I'm going to figure something out, or you just walked away from it,
Yeah, and actually I wanted to look up the Xbox accessibility controller because I wasn't aware that this was a thing.
Yeah, while you do that, he just brought me like a really good point that I didn't even think of for myself. He said, he's got to have a controller. I get made fun of a lot for that, but that is my accessibility thing. Like, I don't play a lot of PC games because I don't do mouse and keyboard.
Yeah, and it's kind of the opposite for me. Like, I don't play a whole lot on console because my brain doesn't get that many buttons. Like, it's hard for me. Keyboard and mouse for me is just so much more.
You have as many buttons.
But it's more straightforward for me. I don't know. Like,
yeah,
it just works better with my brain with mouse and keyboard, I think. I'm looking at the Xbox accessibility controller, and it is very cool. Like, I don't know how it works, but just the look of it is quite nice. It's like a flat thing with two really open circles that I think work as your joystick sort of things. And then you have 4 multicolored buttons that are your separate, like, X, Y, A, B buttons. Like, they're like separate buttons that you hit, like a big button.
Yeah. I told you they made some kind of thing. I couldn't really remember what it was, but yeah, that's it.
All right. So back to the message. Okay, so he says Xbox accessibility controller. Yes. So that's probably why I've adapted, because growing through game systems where accessibility wasn't even a thought, which takes me back to the Souls games and why I love them. I had to figure out my own way to play those games and be successful. It scratches that itch, which I thought was very cool. And I told him, thank you for sending your message. It's always good to hear from different perspectives on this stuff. And then I was thinking about, like, for me, what makes a game unplayable for me. And the only accessibility thing that I routinely need is subtitles, because my audio processing is just not, it's just not great. Like, if I'm supposed to rely on information that I hear, like in Hitman or something, I need to also read it in order to process it.
Yeah.
And sometimes subtitles are so fucking tiny, or they're in a font with like a ton of serif, and I'm like, why would you design that? And why is there no way to fix it? Like, it's funny to me how sometimes games can just fuck up the simplest of things. Like, I can't even imagine if I was like colorblind or fully deaf or had some disability that game designers don't even consider,
Yeah.
And so
I didn't even think about this, but this was a thing with the new God of War game that came out from 2018. I guess I didn't think about it, but a big update that happened was they added accessibility things. And one of the biggest things that people were, like, craving, right?
Yeah.
Was the ability to up the font size for the menu.
Yeah.
And I was like, is that really something that we needed? But then I thought about it. I'm playing on, like, a 55-inch TV, and I'm pretty close, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, what if I were playing this on, like, a little 32? I don't think I'd be able to read this shit.
Right.
It's just not a problem I was having. But yeah, like, that was like a hugely, like, we need bigger font.
Yeah.
It's like a big thing.
There's a game that Richard and I were playing called, what was it called? It was an Xbox game on the new Series X. It's like a twin stick shooter. I think it was called The Descent. maybe?
I think I've heard of that one.
Ascent game. The Ascent.
Okay.
Maybe. Shit, I forget now. But it was like, yeah, it's the Ascent. The font is so small and so, it's a bad font that they've chosen for subtitles. And I was like, can we just like increase the font size or something? And Richard's like, yeah, actually, I kind of need that too. And so we go into the menu and we're looking around and we're like, there's got to be a way to do this. Yeah. And we made the font like quote unquote huge or whatever the largest setting was. And it's like 10-point font on the bottom of the screen. Yeah. And it is a 32-inch monitor that we're playing on. And we're both sitting back, you know, with our controllers just hanging out. And like, you have to like get up to the screen. If I was poised at the keyboard, like mouse and keyboard style, I would probably be able to read it if I squinted, but otherwise, no.
You know what? I really want to show you this because you were talking about subtitles. I was going to ask before we continue with this super awesome DM.
Sure.
Aren't yellow subtitles the absolute worst?
I think they're preferable than white subtitles.
Really?
Because half the time it really depends on the game, I guess, because half the time with white subtitles, if it's on like another background color that's super light, like white or blue, I'm like, why would you even do this? Even if it's outlined, it's hard to read. So yellow for me in those situations just pops. And if there's a dark background, yellow makes it even better to see.
I want to show you the new Ratchet and Clank game.
Okay.
The amount of subtitle customizations that game has, I think would, like, blow your mind. I think you would be like, this is what the standard needs to be.
I think, honestly, they need to have a standard for video games for accessibility. Like, after I've been thinking about this for, like, the better part of a month now, there really should be, I mean, a committee or something that says this is what you need to have in your game in order to make it playable.
Yeah.
Like, I know that it's not in every studio's budget, but if you start small, like start from the beginning and start thinking about all the people that are going to want to play your game, try to accommodate for that.
You're telling me that, like, if you write a piece of code for, like, a font adjusting algorithm, let's say, right? You know?
Yeah.
Like, you write some code that you can't like, that's usually the premise of code writing is, you know, I've written this thing that allows font to change. Now I can copy paste and put it in this.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
then I can work around that new menu that I'm designing with this in mind. But I've already done that piece, you know?
Right. So if you start with that in mind, that you're trying to develop a game for accessibility, then it's less of an issue than if you have a fully developed game and then you have to go back and add subtitles. You have to add a different font or something, you know? I mean, if you just... at the beginning, when you're like, let's make a game that people are going to want to play. Let's make a game that people physically can play.
Exactly.
So CJ continues, I cried when the Xbox accessibility controller came out, and the reason it struck a chord is for so long video games were an escape for me. I wasn't someone with a disability. I was Master Chief or Kratos, and now people with more severe disabilities can experience that when previously they couldn't. And not only that, it allows competition play too. Giving the ability to be competitive against people who are not hindered by movement is a big confidence boost.
That's awesome.
I know.
Yeah.
I like these things don't even cross my mind, you know, and I feel bad for not even thinking about that in the first place. But I guess just with our perspective on it, you know, you and I are blessed to have able bodies, so.
But I also hate doing the competitive shit, so...
Yeah, that too.
But yeah, like, I love the idea of somebody being able to just go in and fucking, like, wreck shop in Warzone or something, you know?
Yeah.
Because I'm already bad at it now, so...
He had a funny anecdote here. He says, I remember back in the day when me and Richard and our friend group... so he's been Richard's best friend, like, since forever.
Okay.
So they went to rent a game, and he said, we wanted a game that we could play together. So we got Ace Combat because, wink, wink, I've never played an aviation game before, in quotation marks. We got back, popped it in the PS2, and I proceeded to dominate everyone to the point where I asked today, 12 years later, hey, let's play an aviation game. It's met with an echoing, go fuck yourself.
Oh my God.
I was never good at playing shooters with them, but that memory is not only strong because it's a funny moment with friends, but because in that moment I felt equal to them. Not to say they ever made me feel less than them, but in my own head, I always had that drawback of cerebral palsy in my hands. But in that moment, that was gone, and this tool allows for that.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I love that.
He finishes up here. I'm not what I would consider severely disabled. I would consider myself lucky that it only affects my hands and speech. While it has affected my life physically, socially, and career-wise, it could have been worse. I just want people to know this is my experience. I understand others' experiences are vastly different, and saying any of this, I don't lessen or worsen anyone else's experience. I just hope to give a different point of view that people can see and maybe relate to, and maybe even help others.
That's fantastic. That is a great listener mail. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much, CJ.
I appreciate that.
So good to get just different perspectives on shit. Like
Yeah.
I said, we never would think about half of this, and it's just incredible.
Well, that was like, I was at Blockbuster with some friends in high school one time, and I remember looking at like the manuals, because games had instruction manuals or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And I was going through the front, and there's that page in the front of like, hey, like 1 in 12 people will have seizures playing a game, like they cannot play games, right?
Yeah.
And I was hanging out with somebody, and they were like, yeah, I'm one of those 12 people. And I was like, what?
My God.
And she was like, yeah, like I can't play games. And I was like, so like if I were to put on like Sonic the Hedgehog, you would just like die. And she was like, yeah, don't fucking do that.
Oh my God.
And I was like, well, like you read that in an instruction manual like your whole life playing games, right?
Yeah.
But it's never been a thing that affects me. And then I met somebody, and it's humbling to meet those kind of people.
Yeah.
Because it's like, it's just not an experience that we have. And it's good to see the world from what, because for them, they're like, yeah, I read that every fucking time and go, yep, I can't ever enjoy this game.
Exactly.
It's a completely different life experience,
Totally. It's something that I would just never clock. I would never think about it because I don't have a reason to. But now,
yeah,
it makes you feel a little bit, I don't know, selfish, just more aware, I guess.
Yeah.
Just there's a lot of perspectives in this world, and we have to keep open to what everyone else,
goes through.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's a whole world out there, guys, and there's so many things that we can't even imagine with the idea of accessibility that we have now.
Yeah.
With how far we've come, there's still things we haven't even scratched the surface of addressing. It's crazy.
For sure.
So I am very happy to have gotten that message, because I love the Able Gamers charity.
Yeah.
Ever since I found out about, like, for easily 6+ years, they've been like my favorite charity. So like when you do the, you don't, because you don't have Facebook, but on Facebook, back when I used it, usually on your birthday, they'll be like, name a charity that you want people to give money to. So
really?
Usually when it's your birthday, you can be like, hey, SPCA, I love that charity, and people can go to your page for your birthday and like donate money to a charity of your choice.
That's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I'd always put Able Gamers up in mine, and I would get like no money because everyone's like, that's dumb. I don't know what that is,
Okay.
But because of my interests, to me, that's like one of the greatest charities and groups that exists out there.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be like following them, keeping an eye on what they do now, because like I said, it's something that's just never been on my radar, but now that I'm aware of it, like, that's really cool work that they're doing, and it's important.
Like, games is my passion. I know how they make me feel, and I know the exact feeling CJ felt when he's talking about being the Master Chief, being Kratos, dominating in a game that he's never played like that. Like, I know those feelings, and that they're denied to so many people because of whatever reason, and that charity helps give it to them. I love it. It just makes me feel awesome to know that people can experience this stuff like that.
Yeah. We'll put some links in the show notes, too, for Able Gamer stuff if you guys want to check them out.
The fucking best. CJ, you're the best. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for writing in.
Please show me how to play Dark Souls.
So I have some more news, not really positive news.
Okay.
Are you familiar with the PAX conferences?
Yes. I've
obviously
always wanted to go.
Yeah, so PAX South has been always located here in, I think, like, South Texas, right? Or is it just right here in Dallas?
That was like in Austin.
Yeah, I think it's like down the Austin San Antonio area.
Yeah.
But
Hang on. Before you give me more bad stuff,
Okay.
can I crack this? Because I can't imagine us having a crackless show.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Bulby, it's okay. He hates the crack.
Really?
Oh, he hates it.
He's not a Yemtope fan?
Nope. Every time I crack something, he's always like, "What the fuck? I hate that!" Like, he gets so scared every time. Yeah, buddy. Cheers,
I wish
buddy.
I had something to crack here. I've been out of seltzer for like 4 or 5 days now, and it's starting to get desolate.
I'm a little surprised that you would let it go that long.
I know. It's just one of those things. Like, my grocery run has like fallen in the wrong time of the week or something.
Yeah. So
But anyway,
lame
PAX
PAX
South.
news. Okay.
So, first PAX was held in 2004. They put this little thing up on their Twitter just to, it's bad when a company posts a whole screenshot of like a a wordy document on their Twitter, but
That's usually, we're gonna delay this game. Sorry about it. Don't hate us.
right. So
Okay.
just for some background on PAX, the first PAX was in 2004, and they expected about 100 people.
Okay.
But they got 3,000 passionate fans, they say.
Nice.
Yeah. So, and it has turned from a one-time event into a series held in 5 cities across the whole damn world. So
Yeah, there's PAX East, West, North, South. Like, there's a whole, like, it's a whole event chain in and of itself.
yeah.
I have always wanted to go to one, and PAX South is like the only one that I really have accessible.
Well, unfortunately, PAX South has been like the least prolific child, I guess. It hasn't grown for them, and it has remained like the same pretty much for the entirety that they've had it going on.
Okay.
So they said, faced with that reality and compounded by the impact of COVID-19, we've made the difficult decision to bring PAX South to an end for the foreseeable future.
Cool.
Yeah, so
So
PAX South is
missed
no
out on
more.
that too.
Yeah,
Nice.
I hope that they'll bring it back, but by the sound of it, it doesn't seem like they're even
Like-
considering it.
I guess you could hope for like a post-COVID boom. Like, hey, people can go places. Like, let's revive it and see if it gets bigger. But it
Yeah.
sounds like that's not going to happen.
Right. I mean, if they have several different divisions of PAX and there's just one that's not
Yeah.
profiting, I mean, it's kind of expected that they're going to cut off the worst of it.
So basically now I have one convention left. Because
Comic-Con?
E3 is basically out the window.
So is E3 just like over?
No, but it's not what it was. So it's like it's not
Yeah.
even worth going to it now.
Right.
PAX was like my next choice. It's gone. So I'm left with the one that like I dream of going to, which is the hardest one for me to fucking go to.
Oh, which one's that?
I want to go to Gamescom, and that's in Germany.
Oh, man.
So I
Germany
can't
has a
really
lot of
just
good-
go there, you know.
Yeah, they've got some good conventions out there. They have one for board games. I think it's called Spiel. I've always wanted to go.
Well, figure out when that is, because maybe we can like pool together some kind of trip.
Have a Yimtop Germany trip.
Yeah. Well,
That'd
like
be amazing.
I want to go to Germany anyway,
Yeah.
but Gamescom is like it is the world's biggest gaming convention.
Wow.
E3 may be the most popular, and maybe it's only popular here in the US, you know, but like
Yeah.
the world's biggest, like the biggest convention for games that happens all year long is Gamescom in Cologne, Germany.
All right.
And I have dreamed of going there for years. And now
So-
E3 is kaput. PAX South is now kaput. So like that's my last dream, and I feel like one day that's gonna be kaput. So I gotta like make this happen.
Damn.
I gotta
Yeah.
do something.
So Gamescom 2021 was August 25th to 27th. Let me look at that board game convention. Spiel Essen. Oh, that's in October. It's like just happened. So,
So we-
August and October.
So
We'll
we
have
just
to make
gotta
a
go
2
live
month
there
trip.
for 2 months. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we could do that.
Yeah, that works. Well,
I just
that
look at
sucks.
the hall and I want to go. Like I've never been to a convention. Like, I've been to the podcast movement with you, but that's the only...
Oh, yeah, and you said that was like your first one.
Yeah.
What's it called?
Spiel. Spiel. It happens in Essen.
I'm gonna take a look at this. Spiel. Whoa, look at that place.
Yeah, it's a 4-day board game trade fair.
Yeah, dude. And you
So
know that you can,
cool.
like, play board games there, too.
Yeah, you can try out new board games and see, like, man, a lot of people attend. Holy shit.
Yeah, dude. This looks awesome
Doesn't it?
for board game stuff. And, I mean, that's cool, because, I mean, they got, COVID tests on site. Like, they will let you do stuff, so...
Yeah.
See, dude, I miss this. Because I used to go to Comic-Con, and it's big like this, right?
Yeah.
There's an energy... Well, I mean, the podcast one, I think, was different, because it's not even people that were passionate about podcasts.
I know. It was
It's
so not
people
what we were
whose
expecting.
business was podcasts,
Yeah. I wanted it to be more people like you and me, and less people like, how do we make our corporate into a podcast?
Yeah, it was more a business trip. It was like a business conference.
Yeah.
Whereas stuff like this, it's people's passion.
Yeah.
You haven't been to that convention yet. If you went to this convention, your life would change.
Yeah.
Being around this many people that love your thing, and then you can see people that are like trying to get new ones made, and there's just all this stuff.
They have a whole booth for Scrabble?
Awesome. I know. I'm looking at that. I hate Scrabble. But I would go
do
to that
too.
booth.
Oh, man.
I want to take you to this convention, like, really bad. But I got to go to Gamescom first.
Okay.
So I'm going to cut this out of the show, too, cutting a lot of shit out. Maybe we can talk about this at some point, like, as a show. But, like, I was thinking about how I've put... Maybe we should. Did we talk capitalism yet?
On the show?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think we should.
At some point we should.
Because I was thinking about this and how depressing my life is because of it now.
Yeah.
I have always put my job first because I needed to take care of, like, my people at home,
Yeah.
But it has been the single source of me missing out on all the things that I wanted to do in my life.
Ugh.
Desi offered me tickets to the E3 that I needed to go to.
Oh, which one?
Uncharted 4 was there.
Ugh.
Something else was there. Like, it was... Well, first of all, it's E3. I've
Yeah.
always wanted to go to E3, right?
Yeah.
And it was Uncharted 4 E3. COVID wasn't even a whisper in the world, Like,
Yeah.
you could just go and live, right?
Right.
And I had just started my job. So I was like, I can't do that because I don't want them to get mad. So I didn't go. And now E3 is not even really a viable thing in the world now.
Yeah.
And I have missed it for what? What did I do that I remember fondly? I would have remembered that fondly till I died.
Yeah, absolutely.
And instead, I worked on boxes at an office for 8 hours a day.
I made a decision at one point, like, I remember the moment I did it. This isn't to do with capitalism or work or anything, but it was school. And I was trying to fucking study for this economics test. And I was failing economics already, just so bad. I was not doing good in this class. The teacher took pity on me and kept giving me, like, makeup assignments and shit. She was like, you're going to get through this. And I'm like, I don't think I am.
I hate it.
But, so we had family in town from Germany, and it was, like, going to be pretty much the one time they were going to be in town. And
Okay.
I remember, like, I have this test tomorrow. I can't fail it, and I don't have time to study and see my family. And I had to, like, sit with the decision. I was like, do I study for this test and try even though I know I'm not absorbing any of this information, or do I just fucking forget about it and, like, hang out with my family and have fun tonight?
Yeah.
And I hung out with my family. I stayed up
Good.
until like 2 a.m. I failed the test, but in the long run, it didn't matter at all. And, like, I remember those times. It's important to have that shit.
I know this part's not even in the show.
I think you should leave it in the show at
We
this
might
point.
now, but, like, those things don't... Your job truly doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't. I remember...
Unless it brings you that joy.
Yeah.
But you gotta bring yourself fucking joy first.
Yeah.
And then worry
absolutely.
about the rest later.
There was a quick story that I was coming home for Father's Day. I was coming home from college. It's not a very far drive, but on the way there, my car spun out on the highway, and I was like really freaking out because it was a bad, like, almost accident. I could have died.
Yeah.
And I had to go to work, and I also wanted to have Father's Day brunch, and I was like, because of my car delays, I won't have time to go to brunch anymore. And I was like, you know what? Actually, fuck this. I called my boss and I was like, I got in a car accident and I need to go to brunch.
I got in a car wreck. I died. Going to brunch. Peace.
And I went to brunch and he was like, that's fine. So I didn't get fired.
Well, going back to the E3 thing, my boss at that time, he actually super hates games.
Oh, what?
Yeah, do you remember the video of a dad that, like, takes all of his kids' 360 games out and runs them over with the riding lawnmower?
Yes.
That was, like, his anthem of a,
oh my God.
like, YouTube meme-ness. Like, he loved that video and was like, God, I wish I would do this to my kid.
What kind of parent sits up at night and dreams about running over their child's source of joy?
I know. But, like, I took time off to play Uncharted for whenever it came out, right? And I remember requesting that time because I wasn't a real boy yet, so I had to, like, actually ask, and I couldn't just, like, put it in the system and stuff.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, what are you doing? And I was like, Uncharted 4 is coming out. And he was like, you're taking 2 days off to play a video game? And I was like,
I am,
yes,
motherfucker.
Actually, yeah, it's a big fucking deal for me, you know?
Yeah.
And then my next boss, when God of War came out and I did that, she was like, fuck yeah. You know, she loved that idea. It was great.
Man.
But,
that's good.
Find your fucking joy, people.
Yeah. Fuck capitalism. Go to brunch.
I've spent so much of my life not chasing the joy to do what, like, you need to do. You know? Like the society shit. And most of that shit I regret looking back on it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. If you take anything away from this podcast, take the advice from these two 31-year-olds living in post-COVID times. Go to the fun thing. Go
Kelsey,
do the fun thing.
I think I'm 32.
Are you 32? No, you're not.
I think I'm 32.
How old am I? Oh, fuck, I'm turning 32. Oh, shit. I'm
yeah,
turning 32 next month.
You're still 31, like you said, though.
Oh, fuck.
Hang on. How
Time
old
is
am
so
I?
weird. You're 32. You turned 32 and...
I am 32. You're right.
Yeah. Fuck.
Are you crying?
No, I'm good.
I'm not crying.
I'm not crying. I'm laughing.
I'm laughing. Oh my God. Yeah,
okay.
But like, just... That was a weird side tangent, but fuck, PAX is closed, and it was like the last one I had, dude.
I'm sorry.
Like, I've been wanting to go to these things for so long. So, see guys... You can miss out on the shit that you want. You don't know where the world can take that shit.
Yeah, you don't know when it's going to end. If you have the capability, or if you can make the capability, seize it.
San Diego Comic-Con may not be a thing forever, guys, and it's fucking great. Go. Is it
still a thing, though? Because, like, last year, it was online, right? Was it online this year?
I don't even know. Well, I gave up on going, because buying tickets is ridiculous.
Yeah, like I know that I've heard that the magic now is kind of gone with the way they do ticketing and
dude.
Just the whole shift of the convention since it was founded.
I was lucky enough to go 3 years in a row.
Wow.
Maybe 4. I think it was 3. I tell you, man, magic. I remember each one of them very vividly because it was phenomenal. That's why I want to take you to that board game convention because I know what it will do to your brain. You will be so happy.
Yeah.
Like, walking around to these booths and seeing, like, new movies. That's when I think, like, Skyfall was going to come out. Like, the James Bond car was there. I got to touch it, you know?
Like, oh, my God.
I got to see shit when I was there. It was a great place. I love Comic-Con. It was awesome. Find your fucking joy, people. Just be happy. PAX, please bring it back post-COVID and see if it'll last. I'd like to come once. Please, PAX.
Please.
I'm just gonna keep the bad train rolling. I think let's just keep rolling it downhill. Why not?
Okay.
Ready? This is actually pretty cool, but kind of upsetting in a minor way.
All right.
There's a game that's out that I want you to play with me.
Okay.
It's called...
Why is this upsetting?
I'll tell you.
Okay.
It's called First Class Trouble. Have you heard of it?
No.
Okay. Remember that game you don't like called Among Us?
Yeah.
Okay. It's an adult version of Among Us.
Oh my god.
Like, think Among Us, but more mature.
Okay.
In style, gameplay, like, think of just like a more thought out version of Among Us. That's how I took the trailers, right?
Okay, so there's
it's been out. It's been on the PC for a while.
Oh yeah, I'm looking at it now on Steam and it's like $10.
Yeah. Well, it just came out for free on PlayStation Plus. So PlayStation people just got it for free, right?
Cool. Is there crossplay?
There is crossplay, and Ferdin
Nice.
downloaded it and wants to go PS4 to PS5 to Kelsey's PC.
Okay.
And he wants to play it. You know, I'm not really into Among Us, but I was like, well, how does this one work? Because it seems like it's a bit more advanced, right?
Yeah.
So I wanted to watch it. I pulled up a Twitch stream of it because it had just come out. She was playing on the PS5. I was like, cool. Releasing it on the PlayStation that day, broke them, and the servers were down the entire day. So I saw none of that game get played.
Dang.
But I followed a new Twitch streamer and sat in her stream for 8 hours while she played 0 games. It was literally her waiting the whole day.
Damn.
And they'd be like, okay, the servers are up, and like a match would start, and they'd be like, oh, the servers are down, guys, hang on.
Oh my god, that's so frustrating.
So this like brand new game got released to like millions of people for free, and they couldn't even play it.
Oh.
Which I thought was kind of funny. But also it made me mad because I wanted to know what it was like. But I did watch some today, and it does look pretty cool. I think you might like it more than Among Us.
Okay, so is the premise like there's one killer and a bunch of crew members, or?
There's... I'm not sure that it's quite 50-50.
Oh, wow.
But it's like... There's a big portion of you that are like robots wearing human skin.
Ooh.
And so you just look like one of the people, but you're like a replanoid or something, and you're trying to like make your team win, you know?
Okay.
It looks awesome. You're on like a space station.
Ooh.
And at one point, like the oxygen starts to like fail on the space station, so you have to work together to like raise the oxygen levels.
Okay.
And stuff. So like it just seems a bit more what you might like from Among Us, you know?
Okay.
It seemed really cool. So if you would like to try it out with us, we have it. I'd like to know that you know the servers are working first.
Yeah.
But I thought you might enjoy this take of the Among Us formula, and you might enjoy it more.
It's on sale now through November 8th, which is actually the date this comes out. So
Yeah.
I'm going to actually purchase this right now.
Okay. Yeah, we need to try to play it because I think it looks fun.
Yeah.
And I'm digging crossplay, man, because you, me, and Ferdin are on 3 different systems and can still have a fun time.
I'm glad that we're going to be able to play this together.
So
I love crossplay. It's a beautiful world we live in.
can't wait for it to be like the standard thing.
Right?
Everything works with everything.
One of these days. So I'm going to drag us down further into the pits of despair. Can I talk about my favorite dumpster fire?
Let's go. Let me guess. That's Blizzard.
That's Blizzard.
Of course it is. What now?
For the folks that are in the Zeitgeist level of our Patreon tier, you know that I have been covering Blizzard each and every week in our Friday roundups because I just can't help it.
It never ends.
I have to watch them burn. I can't look away. It's an absolute train wreck. So remember when Blizzard was like, do you remember when they were sued for sex discrimination? Yeah. That was like the big thing that set things off, I think in like July or something. So they announced just the other day, well, okay, so after that they fired their main dude, who was J. Allen Brack. He was Blizzard's president. Okay. And 2 people came in and took his spot. So there were co-leaders, one of whom was Mike Ibarra, and one of whom is Jennifer O'Neill. So you might know Jennifer O'Neill or Jen O'Neill. She was the head of Vicarious Visions.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I
So
do know her. She's really cool.
I never heard of Vicarious Visions, but I remember you telling me that you were upset that they got absorbed into Blizzard.
Yeah, they're the people that did the Crash Bandicoot like remake that came out a couple years ago. They
Oh,
like
okay.
rebuilt it from the ground up and stuff.
Yeah.
They're just a neat little publisher. Like they do cool stuff. And
Yeah.
now, so yeah, Blizzard just like called the office and said, "Hey, you're called Blizzard now.
We
Like,
own you now.
yeah, like you're not even Vicarious Visions. Nobody will
Jeez.
ever see that name again.
And
No
that's a
one will
cool
know that you're
name.
part of that team. You are Blizzard now."
Jeez.
That's, and I watched a video on it, and this guy was like, "That's a slap in the face to what Vicarious Visions history is." Like you
Yeah.
basically said, none of that matters. That's fucked up.
That is fucked up.
But I didn't know that somebody from Vicarious Visions was co-leader of Blizzard. That's cool.
Yeah. So I don't know if she was like within Blizzard and just was the head over what was previously Vicarious Visions, or if she worked at Vicarious Visions and was absorbed into Blizzard. I'm not sure the
Yeah.
order of events there.
Okay.
But she was overseeing Vicarious Vision stuff, and so she announced that she wanted to leave, and it always looks bad when a woman leaves a company that is going through everything Blizzard is currently going through. Like
Yeah.
they have so many scandals in the way of like gender discrimination and sexual assault and just a peppering of a little bit of everything. So when a woman in charge leaves, it makes you wonder why and what happened. But
Yeah.
she has this really good quote that I wanted to read because it gives me hope.
Okay.
So she says, "I'm doing this not because I'm without hope for Blizzard. Quite the opposite. I'm inspired by the passion of everyone here working toward meaningful, lasting change with their whole hearts. This energy has inspired me to step out and explore how I can do more to have games and diversity intersect and hopefully make a broader industry impact that will benefit Blizzard and other studios as well."
Okay.
So that's all good and well, and I'm happy for her. I just hope that Blizzard isn't a sinking ship and the rats are all trying to get onto the last lifeboat, you know?
Yeah.
But one cool thing is that Activision is creating a $1 million grant to Women in Games International in her honor, which I think is very, very cool.
Very cool. Yeah.
Jen O'Neill is a board member on that organization, so
Okay.
it's nice.
Yeah.
It's still,
But
it hurts. But I mean, it's good for Jen O'Neill. It might be bad for Blizzard. It's hard to say at this point. Like so much is shifting and changing all the time, and
Yeah.
I feel a little bad for Blizzard. I know that they're a corporation and I'm not supposed to feel any type of sympathy toward them because as a corporation, historically, they have been really bad.
yeah.
But one of my favorite video game journalists, Jason Schreier, I've been following his kind of deep dive into Blizzard because he's got like a storyline with them. He's been covering them for a very long time now. And he said a couple of things that struck a good chord with me. So let me read off this tweet from him from November 2nd. It's worth noting that comments like, "Wow, Blizzard is over," ignore the reality that many of Blizzard's now well-documented cultural issues are years old, and they happened during the golden days, quote unquote. While lots of
Yeah.
current employees are organizing to try to make things better. So it's tough to see Blizzard struggle so fucking much because they are struggling so fucking much. They canceled BlizzCon. They have now pushed out Overwatch 2 and Diablo 4
Yep.
to perhaps 2023. Like they seem like they're just floating out like in the ocean right now. And I don't know what's going to become of
Yeah.
Activision Blizzard at this point, which sucks, but I don't know. Like
I mean, there's no way that this company disappears. Right?
You want to think that, but at the same time, like, what are they doing?
I mean, that's what I'm thinking. Like, is there a company that's too big that it's like, no, it'll still float by and it will right itself later, but it's going to be a rough patch for a while, you know?
I mean, everybody thought that about the banks and mortgages in 2008, and look at where that went.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that this is totally different from the housing crisis, but it just feels about the same. You know, it's watching a big company struggle and splinter, and it's just weird.
Yeah.
And there's also just been like, you remember the whole Blitzchung controversy about like Hong Kong and how they had
Yes,
to
I do.
fire that guy.
Yeah.
There was always like a huge belief that Overwatch 2 and Diablo 4 were both announced to kind of like smokescreen
that
from
over?
that. Yeah, they were like, oh, don't look at Hong Kong, look at Overwatch 2 instead.
Put out there way too early.
Well,
And I was like, well, we kind of said it now, and now you're just waiting.
but the thing is, like, they had announced, there were already whispers that Overwatch 2 and Diablo 4 were going to be at BlizzCon in June when the whole Blitzchung controversy happened in October. So, I mean, there were rumblings ahead of the whole mess, but I think that they just needed to like show their investors like we're working on stuff.
Yeah.
Because they've been pretty stale, right? Like Blizzard hasn't come out with a new game since Overwatch. So,
Well, I mean, I think they are kind of in the same boat as Rockstar right now, because like Rockstar like doesn't release a lot of shit, but Grand Theft Auto 5 brings in $1 billion a year, so we don't really need to make anything.
yeah.
You know, like I'm pretty sure Hearthstone brings in a shit ton of money because I bet people buy card packs or something all the time.
Yeah,
you know?
probably so.
And they have World of Warcraft is a subscription based game, right?
Right.
So they've got that money coming in with no new products, so they're making money for doing nothing.
Yeah.
Like, they can probably float by without a new something. Do you think that's why the Diablo 2 remaster came out? They were like, just fucking reskin that shit, make a little quick cash.
Maybe.
Gotta float it a little bit, you know?
Yeah, I don't even know at this point. It's all such a mess, and like, I want to believe that they're going to come out of this okay because I like the products that Blizzard makes, but it's just hard to support them because they keep drowning.
Doing shit. Yeah.
They keep doing shit, and like Jason Schreier said in his tweet here, like that was kind of old Blizzard who did all the shit, and now there's new people in there who are working to be better, and they're, you know, still trying to create art with the games. And I think it's, I hate taking a hard stance on this, but I think it's just unfair to fully boycott the company for the actions of a few individuals. Like I know the company as a whole has allowed that to go on, but they're making strides and they're taking steps into the right direction. And I mean, yeah, some of the steps are a little bit weird. Like, let's rename Jesse McCree into Cassidy Cole or whatever. And fans are still going to call him McCree because they've been calling him McCree for the better part of 6 years now. But at least we got his name out of the game. It's just, yeah, they're problematic. They're my problematic fave. And I hate to defend them, but I just...
What do they say, though? Every journey starts with a single step, so... You got to start somewhere.
You got to start somewhere, and sometimes it's replacing women with bowls of fruit, and that's just how it's going to go.
Yeah. Well, Blizzard, I hope you get there. And I actually almost bought the Diablo 2 remaster the other day.
It looks really good.
It looks fucking fun. It looks fun, and I want to have fun.
Yeah. CJ
You know?
also loves Diablo 2, so he's been like telling me you should get it, you should play with us.
It's so bad.
It looks really
good.
nice.
I like it.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to keep this in the show or put this in Friday Roundup when we potentially hit Blizzard again, but I read a thing today about Insomniac, and they were talking about the ending fight for the Spider-Man game that's on the PlayStation 4.
Uh-huh.
Was originally going to be huge. It was going to be a way bigger fight. And they realized that what they had in mind was like too much for the team to handle.
Oh.
So they like took a week to kind of rethink it, and they decided to make it smaller, one, to meet their budget and their time and not work people to death. But it also served the story better and created a more personal and intimate moment there at the end.
Okay.
So it was just because Insomniac Games right now is like the standard for game developers.
Yeah.
They treat everybody fucking great. They produce like the best games, probably because they treat everybody so good. So people are putting their whole heart and soul into it, right?
Yeah.
And they're the ones that made Ratchet and Clank that I'm telling you have these great subtitle accessibility shits. Like they're just the fucking top right now.
Well, that's good.
But I just read this thing about their work ethic, and it changed the entire ending to a game, and it worked out better for them. You know?
Imagine that. Happy people at work creating good art.
Yeah, and I was like, that's cool.
Ready to go to Germany?
I'm fucking ready to go to Germany, dude.
Let's go to Germany.
Yes, I want to fucking have German beer. I want to go to Oktoberfest.
Let's go to ein Biergarten.
Ah, see, if I go to Oktoberfest, you can go to the board game thing.
Fuck yeah.
See, there you go. We got
Soft
it.
pretzels all around. Thank you so much for listening to the end of the show, where we always ask you to please tell your friends about us. Tell 2 friends about us. Tell 8 friends about us. How many friends do you have? Tell them about us. Help us grow this audience. Don't forget to subscribe to us on your most favorite platform so you never ever miss an episode. How about you subscribe on a bunch of different platforms so we get, just cover your bases.
Yeah.
We release weekly every single Monday, and we don't want you to miss a single episode. So if you have a second to rate and review us on Apple Podcasts, that helps us out so much in finding many more lovely listeners just like you.
And don't forget, while you're doing that, go find us and friend us and share that with all your friends on social media, because we are YMBTOAP on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. We just got done with Streamtober. Big old Twitch thing. We gotta take a break, guys. That was a lot.
That was
a
a
lot of
lot.
shit. But we appreciate all you guys that showed out, hung out with us. We had a good time. Hopefully you enjoyed the stuff that we played and looked at, everything. And we really want to thank our patrons. You guys are the best. Like, you guys are the best. We have a whole, like, Animal Crossing thing going on. We've got, like, a whole little community of island hoppers right now. And we're,
look
like,
forward to
sharing stuff.
next week. I believe we're going to go deep on the Animal Crossing update because it's going to be out and we're going to be, like, neck deep in it. You and I have both been playing a lot. I restarted my island, you guys. I restarted it.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
I need to give you a whole bunch of stuff.
Please.
We have a good little group, and I want more of you guys to come out and join that group so I can get to know. We want to know you guys as well.
Yes.
Don't forget the listener mail. We've had 2 lately, and they have spurred some big discussions. Like, you guys have good things that you want to say to us that prompt us to think of stuff that we didn't before. Good things to just ask us. We love what you guys bring to the table. So you can either be a patron, send something to us on our Discord, or there's the good old classic ymbtoap@gmail.com. Your standard old email. We can put your name in it. We can do it anonymous. We don't do anything you don't want us to do. We want to have a good little group. If you just want to have a discussion, but you want to kind of keep it a little off the table, we can do that. Send us that listener mail. Start some good conversations with us.
Our theme song is The Grim Reaper Blows the Horn by Faraj. Please check him out on YouTube. He's good and he deserves your views and your listens. And as always, thank you so much for listening, and tune in next time to get the answers to that burning question. When will Blizzard ever be good?
But we had one more important sound we wanted you to hear.
Yeah.
I just started playing. Whew. Hang on. I'm cutting this out. Bulbasaur just fucking ripped one. He's in my fucking lap.
God.
Oh, buddy, dude.
Thanks for the Under Bulbasaur.
Whew. It's heavy. It's heavy musk about me. Whew. This dude gets too relaxed when he's sleepy. Hi, buddy. Just lay down. Don't look at me. Don't look at me. I'm offended.